Okay, so hello everyone. A very good evening. My name is Deepesh Kumar Pandey, a Python developer and a web developer, bug bounty hunter, and a cybersecurity enthusiast. Now, in the previous classes, what we did was we have learned about Python, its working, and its basic information, basic knowledge. We have learned a lot about Python. We've seen how Python works, what data types are there. Then later on, we moved over HTML. In the previous classes, we have seen how HTML works, how we write HTML codes, what each tag means, and what tags are, how we write elements, what do they do, and we have seen a bit of inline styling, right, to change the color of text and something like this. Now, today what we will be doing is we'll be talking about CSS. What CSS is? CSS is an acronym which stands for Cascading Lifestyle Sheet, cascading style sheet, not lifestyle, obviously. So it is a cascading style sheet, and it is used to control the user interface or the styling of user interface of a website, right? Which is the front end of website. In order to beautify it, in order to bring the more attractive look towards your website, what we use is CSS. Okay, so in CSS we had a lot of versions. We have distributed it over the time, we have improved it over the time. So in the very early we had CSS 1, then it turns to CSS 2, and currently what we are using is CSS 3. Now CSS is the must for every student who is in either computer science or who intends to learn something about web development or something. So CSS is really an important part for a student in any manner. Now, what CSS is, it starts to create a stunning website, right? So CSS handles the look and feel part of the web pages. Using CSS, you can control the colors, the text, the interfaces, backgrounds, background colors, the images, and all other things, right? You can handle the size of different things, size of your text, size of images you add, size of video footages that you add, or something, or anything like that. Fine. So what web is, in order to do all this thing along with CSS, we also use HTML in consideration, because obviously if you do not have the HTML, what will you be styling for, right? So in the earlier class also, as an example, I told you HTML is the skeleton and CSS is the skin. Now, skin can be blank, skin can be decorative as well. So, what CSS does is it decorates the skin of the skeleton, which is it helps in decorating and beautifying the HTML that we have written, right? In a similar way, CSS is an easy to learn and understand. It is case sensitive. It Yeah, it is case sensitive, and it also works with HTML. What we were learning currently, we are working on HTML5 with CSS3. Okay, so CSS is a good part. Now we'll begin with understanding how CSS is written, right? So let me share you with my screen. Okay, so this is what we have created in the earlier class. Okay, in the earlier classes we had created a tabular form. Now let me remove this table, which was obviously the HTML part. Won't be taking it into consideration right now. I hope that my screen is visible to every one of you. So now let me remove this as well. Now this is what we have as our website right now. This is the plain HTML code which says that this is h1. Let me add more of the tags. You know what tag is and how an element is created. So p is the tag, and this is the paragraph. Now this entire thing is an element. Similarly, we can have different size of headers as well. So heading tag is h1 to h6, as we have seen. This is h3, suppose we have. So what we'll see in our website is something like this. We'll be having these different things right here. Okay, now in order to make it more beautiful, what we will be doing is we will be adding another tag. Now this tag is called style tag. Fine. So it will be something like this. There will be an opening tag for style, and there will be a closing tag for style. and inside that style we will be writing our css. Css is how this particular HTML part will look like. Now every element is declared with something, some particular style. How to do that? In order to write the style for h1 tag, every single line of your web page, every single line of your web page is an element some or the other way, right? And each and every element is some or the other way created with some style, beautified with some style. So for example, if you want to create some style sheet, some beautification in h1 tag, you want that wherever you use h1, that h1 should have a color. Now color of say red. Fine. So at any instance of time when you will be having h1, suppose this is h1, and if we add one more h1, and we have one more h1 right here which says this is second h1. Okay, so wherever you will be having h1, that h1 will have the same style which is declared right here in your style tag with h1, right? So this h1 sector defines how your h1 tags will look like. Fine. Now let me remove the extra one. In the same manner, what you can do is, now suppose you want h1 like this, then there is something called h3 that we have declared. Similarly, you can write h3 also. Suppose the in h3 what we do is we change the background color. Other ways, highlighter if you say, and we have yellow color. Okay, and then when you will see, you will have your h3 with a background of yellow out, right? So this is h3 tag. Similarly, if we move on more ahead, we have a paragraph. Now let us write some for paragraph also. So paragraph is the p tag. Now what we can do is we can add a color which will be say white, and a background color which will be say black, right? So now in this particular h1 tag we have only changed the text color. In h3 we have changed the background color, and in a paragraph we have changed not only the color but also the background color. So both of these things are changed. So this is the good thing in VS Code, is that you can get this entire RGB format which you can use. If you can either use a name of the color, and if you do not know the name you can use this RGB format. And if you want, if you do not know the RGB code, I'm really sorry with the pronunciation, if you do not know about RGB code, you can hover over it, hover your cursor over the RGB, and you will get this platelet. So what this palette do is, this shows you different types of color combinations, different color codes. You can decide from here, right? Now when I see my website somewhat looks like this. So we have a h1 tag which had a different styling, a paragraph tag which had some different styling, and one h3 tag which had some different styling, right? Okay, so now what we did was we created some different styles right here, as you have seen in my VS Code. We have created it in HTML. We use CSS for variety of purposes, right? Sometimes you may use it for creating animations also, like changing the color when you hover over it, and you can change the text size when you move your cursor over the text. You can change different aspects over there, right? You can also create border, which I was also talking about in the last class. So there is also a border style which can be, obviously so many types of border styles are there. I would love to show that to you. Hold on, let me show you my screen. Okay, so here if you also write, say we have another. Okay, so now this is all clear, I guess. Let me remove all those things, and okay, let it be. It's not a difference. Suppose in h1 tag what I want is, this is my website, it looks like this. Now I want that this h1, particularly this header should have a border. So what we will do is, we are having, see, you can see we have a number of arguments. So we will check for border style. Now the style of border can be a dashed, dotted, double, grooved, hidden, initial, inset, or something like this, right? So what we do, if we go for say double is a good one. right? If you save it and you move on, you will get a border like this. So there is a border with H1, right? Now there is also something called align, text align. Now what you can do is you can do it in center, and then when you see your website, you have this entire header put in the center of this entire website. Okay, center of this web page. Now similarly, you can add all the other things also. If you do not want this double, you can use it as dashed. Okay, so dashed one is also a good one, not a bad one obviously, but I prefer double. It looks pretty good. Now what you can do other thing is you can have a border radius, say 5 pixels. Okay, so you will have a radius. Okay, I don't think it is visible to you, so let me make it to 30 pixels, and now you will be able to see that this entire border has a radius which gives a better look to your heading, right? Now this heading looks pretty good. For instance, suppose in this entire h1 tag, if you have written something like this, now what you can do here is you can put this entire thing inside a division. What division is? Division is the boundary line which decides all its defined components, and this will help you a lot. For example, we have all those things right here, and for instance, if I remove all these things, remove h1, I remove h2, I remove h3, okay, whatever it is, I have removed them all, and now this entire style sheet will be for div. Okay, now if I check out my website, it looks something like this. Now my website has a div. Inside div, I have all these three things, and this entire part which you see as a border, that border is the div. Okay, so whenever we will change something in this our style sheet of div, what we will be changing actually is we will be changing it something which is encapsulating all other tags. So here in our div, we have changed we have encapsulated h1, p1, and h3. Okay, so we have encapsulated all these three elements. Now these elements are encapsulated inside div, so what we can do here is we have div with this particular parameter, this particular style sheet, right? In this manner, what you can do here is you can bring a more beautified look to your website. This will generate more of the stuffs for you. In the same manner, you can also have a margin if you want to separate all the text, all the headers, and all those things. Suppose you have for example, if you have a text, okay, a header h1, then what you have an image, and then you have a paragraph written. Now what you want is you want to separate these things from their uh, among themselves. You want some spaces in between. So what you will be doing is, or if you want a space around it, around a particular stuff, so in that condition you can add margin as well. So for margin also we have a simple parameter which is margin, and then you can declare the pixels as we have done in the border radius, uh, border, what we have done, right? As we have done in the border size. Okay, so as you have decided for this, you can also write border width, and you can do all other stuffs when you want. Fine. In the same manner, we can add up some more enthusiastic box model is I'm really sorry. Screen was visible. There is an issue, I guess. There was some other. And now we are live again. We continue the class. Okay. So now we are live again. I'm really sorry for the internet issue. There was some problem here. Is the voice clear now? If you can make me know, let me know. Okay, I guess it's quite clear now. Okay. So now we will be beginning. Are we you? Okay, I guess it's now clear, right? So now you have a video and the audio right here. Can you please mention some comments if I so I could know that if you are comfortable with the video and audio. May I get some comments, please? Yes, sir. Okay. So we are clear with the audio and video right now. Now, what I was telling to you is we can also add up some different things, which is suppose we want to add up what we say is an icon. Okay. So CSS is a very good thing which help you get some icons on your website, right? In other example, written for you later. I'll show you my screen. Okay, now you have my screen right here. Now we have seen all about CSS, we have seen all about styling, and now what we will be seeing is we'll be seeing how we can add some icons. Okay, so here is a predefined website for icon. You can also use it in other ways. You can have some icons created by your own self and you can use it. But for instance, what we have here is a predefined library which is associated present at this particular link. So we are using it, and don't worry about why I have used a script tag. I'll be telling you in tomorrow's class. Okay, we'll be discussing about script tags as well. So with along with this, you can have a class defined, and the class will have a predefined name. Now how did I got this name is I visited this website which had an awesome collection of icons, and I got all the names of this icon from there. One of the icon method is this, and the other one is, let me mention you, fafa. Okay, fafa hyphen fa. So this is also one of the library which provides you with wonderful icons. Okay, now if I refresh this website, obviously because it is fetching data from a particular resource which is located on online platforms, this is going to take some time because there is some internet issue. I don't know why. Okay, so now here you have got an icon. Okay, if I zoom it for you, it is on a complete zoom. So these are the, in the corner if you see, these are the icons which we have generated. Okay, now let me bring you back to this particular position where what we will be doing is we'll be keeping this aside and we'll be bringing our old HTML collection back. And why so? Suppose this is our collection. Now, in the same collection, what I want is I want this entire thing to be present. As I told you earlier, everything will be written inside your head tag. In the very basic class of HTML I took, adding anything like CSS, JS, anything, that will be written inside your head tag. And now, if you want to add, suppose a heart right here, okay? So what you will be doing, you will be adding this entire thing to an HTML tag. Now this is called nesting. What you see is we have h1 tag, okay, and then we have an I1 tag. This is I1 tag, I tag, which holds the what we say as the icon, right? And now if I show you with if I refresh it again, what you will see is let me check. Still breaking. Fine. Now you can see in my website what I have is this is h1 with an icon of heart. Now why this icon is red in color? Because in our HTML, in our CSS part, what we have decided for div is color should be red. What I can do here is I can also decide that I tag will have a color of black, or say pink is quite no yeah pink is quite attractive for most of the people when it comes to heart. So now we're taking it to pink. Now what you see is this pink is different color. If you haven't decided, you can also decide the CSS for each every tag which is even nested inside a div, right? So div will create a complete reference to everything which is inside it, and each and every inside div element can also have a different CSS. Now, I has similarly like I has a different CSS for viewing it as a color of pink, and we can have also the border. Say border style will be a dotted one, okay, and we can have the border color, border radius. Okay, so this is border radius. Say it as 50 pixels. Okay, so now if we have done it, when we'll be refreshing our page, we'll be having something like this. Now, how to decide how many pixels are required? That will be by you. You can also change the border color to be specific. Suppose I want a border color of red. Okay, so I have declared it right there. And now when I refresh it back, what I get is a red colored border around our heart. Okay, so in this particular manner, we will be using our CSS. Fine. Now, let me bring you with the attendance sheet. Okay, so attendance sheet is right here. Providing you with attendance sheet. So now I have sent you the attendance sheet inside your what we say is comment. In your comment you have the attendance sheet. You can fill it up with all the required field. You can also see it on your screens. Okay, until you fill up your attendance sheet, what I want is I want you all to also understand that in CSS you are free to decide anything. Like you have multiple facilities which CSS provide. For example, it provides for alignment, pseudo class, pseudo elements, opacity, navigation bar, drop down, image galleries, and attribute selectors, form counters and all. There's a lot very things which is very basically understood. Okay, because we do not have so much of time in these lectures, so we won't be discussing all of them, but obviously I'll be telling you some of them. In the same manner, there is other thing, for example, the CSS boundary. I just shown you as a border radius. That same thing you can have as a round bound, right? And then there is the gradient, shadow, the text effects you can create. Okay, there are multiple things. The 2D, 3D formations, which gives a different aspect to you. It provides really good things to your CSS. Okay. Now, let me make clear that you must be feeling your forms right now. Okay. So I want you all to fill it. Until then, I'll be creating something for you right here. This entire thing. Mm, fine. Now you have a screen right here. You can see my screens. Okay. Screen is visible to you all. Now let me bring you to this. Okay. Just here. Now, if you can see my screen, what you have here is a website. Right now, my screen is visible. So this is the website that you have created. If you want your entire body. Now, what body is, as I have told you in the earlier class also, we have a body part right here. This is the body part inside which div is written. So this entire web page which you see is a body. Okay, and the parts which you see inside this border, double border thing, that is div, and this is h1, this is paragraph, and this is h3, right? These are the elements. Now back the bodies, suppose color okay. Now if you go right here and you refresh, you will have background of Rosie. Right. Yeah, obviously whatever Rosie it is, I do not know. Right here, it's good. And what you can do is will also facilitate you is have a gradient. What gradient here? This thing, like so much. Keep it right here. and this is yellow. Okay, so we have a color gradients, linear gradient, which is also an advanced topic, but I'm be telling you this particular line of code. What will give you a separate background here. Okay, this background is all your body and is distributed in different places. And now I want it to be only inside my H1 tag. This is the heavy part. And if you refresh, you will be having your and below it is yellow. You can change the direction also. This is how you do. Now, what code you written is a background image. This entire gradient is considered to be an image. Okay. Yes, just consider this entire thing, entire background color as a background image. It creates we have here is a gradient. Okay, so this is how you can create gradients. If you cannot see, I'll be viewing you my screen. So there is a command which you will be running, and this is the command. This is this parameter which will decide how your background image will be. Now this image will a linear gradient. There are okay. Suppose what I want here is this is one div with a particular thing. Now if I want another thing, something like H1, H2, and H3 is written right here. So this background is also created with red color RGB color code, something like this mentioned 20, 25, and 58, and another is the yellow color. So this entire thing is visible to you inside my website. And you can see something like this. This is what we have created. Right? This is about CSS. Next topic, obviously. Okay, so this was our CSS topic. This is how you work with CSS. You can create gradients. Similarly, you can create a repeating linear gradient, repeating radial gradient, and variety of gradient types are also present inside this. But this is all very advanced topic, which I will be teaching later on, how you can animate these gradients as well. Okay, in the same way we will be having animation as a separate topic, transition, 3D transformation, transformations, then the box sizing, box models, and all those things. Okay, so these are all these aspects that we will be learning in our CSS part. Fine. Now there HTML, which we couldn't complete in the last class. It's just for 5 minutes only. In the last class, I haven't informed you that we will also be doing about the HTML forms. Okay, so we will be learning about HTML form. We will be also learning in our course about HTML form, HTML elements, attributes, and canvas. We will be creating some canvas as well, which is graphical part for HTML. As I told you in the very start of this HTML course, that is HTML, with using only HTML, you can create a very beautiful website, right? So in same manner, I'll be telling you how you can create a canvas, how SVG is created, how you can upload a multimedia file, a video, audio file, and to be marking, which for which I'm telling you HTML today, that is helps you get the geolocations as well. Drag and drop, geolocations, web storage, file uploads, and all these things are possible only with the use of HTML. Now, today's AI is supported with Chrome of 5.0 to 49.0 of HTTP and for 50.0 for HTTPS, right? Chrome supports this geolocation facility of API in version of 5.0 to 49.0 and HTTPS service 50.0. The Internet Explorer Edge supports this functionality in ninth version, which is version 9.0. Firefox considers some uses it for 16.0 and onwards, right? So these are the methods where HTML also holds some advantage. Now, let me take you to some more interesting things which we will be doing in our further topics. That is, we'll be telling you about how we will be creating a canvas with doc type and browser compatibility, right? So if you want to check if your website can run in a browser or not, that will also be done with browser compatibility only using HTML. Fine. So we'll be telling that also. We will also be having the JavaScript part. We'll be doing JavaScript tomorrow. So I would like to invite you all for the JavaScript class tomorrow. And there is obviously some internet issue due to which I couldn't complete this class as expected. But very fine. Whatever left with CSS, I cannot see any more questions from your side. So if there is no query, that means you are understanding whatever I'm teaching. We'll be continuing with JavaScript tomorrow. And if you have any query regarding Python, HTML, or CSS, then that can be asked tomorrow in tomorrow's class. Okay. The Django works, how we create projects in a Django. Okay. Until then, I would like to thank you all for attending this class in such for whatever mess I created today, but it went well, and I can see there is some good reviews as well. So well, thanks a lot for attending today's class. We'll be seeing to you. I'll be in connect with you tomorrow again. Okay. So take care. Good night.